Now, Dublin bus driver Pat O'Neill lost 4 stone in just 3 months before Christmas and puts his success down to hypnotherapy and a small blue plate.
Pat joins us now to share his weight loss story, and he is also joined by psychologist Jason O'Callaghan, who is a specialist in hypnotherapy. Pat and Jason, you are both very welcome to the programme. Pat, we're going to start with you. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is no mean feat. This time you've lost 4 stone, 3 months, but you said you've been yo-yo dieting for years and years and years.
I have. I've tried various different diets over the years, and more or less, okay, I'd lose the weight while being on the diet, but more or less afterwards then it's just slowly, surely piling it back on again.
But you're a shift worker, Pat, and that plays havoc with people's lifestyles and their eating habits.
It does, yeah. Like I could, as I explained to Ciara, I could have a dinner before I go into work, particularly on a late shift. I'd go into the canteen, I would have had another dinner, a dessert, and then having a cup of coffee might be a cream cake to go with it. So it was just piling on the weight, and you could be eating that at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So you're kind of not getting a chance to really eat.
You would regularly have been eating your meals at different times of the day all the time. So your body would never know when the next meal is coming, essentially.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the work that you're doing as a driver means you're in a sedentary position for hours and hours on end, aren't you?
Yeah, it could be 4 or 5 hours sitting in the seat sometimes before I get out.
And what was it this time that made you go, was there a particular moment you thought, OK, no, this time now I've got to get on top of this, I've got to make a change?
First of all, I seen a thing on Facebook about a year ago with one of Jason's other clients that lost a lot of weight, and I got a new uniform in August. I tried it on at the time, perfect, fitted me. Didn't actually put it on until around the end of September. When I went to put it on, it was, no, these squashed himself into it.
Now, actually, it's hard to believe that we're looking at the same man.
You actually do look like a different person.
Yeah.
And was it the type of thing that was getting you down? Were you getting frustrated? Did you feel you were lacking in energy?
I would definitely have been lacking in energy. Like, one of the things that Jason puts in my mind through the hypnotherapy is to exercise. Like, before, I would look out the window with the dog there beside me. No, it's going to rain. I'm not going out with you today. Whereas now, whether it's raining or not, just throw on the rain gear, out we go, and we go for our walk.
Now, you were involved with the Scouts, weren't you?
I am still heavily involved with
the
Scouts.
Scouts.
Yeah.
So you'd think because of your involvement with the Scouts that you would have been, had this great love of the outdoors and you would have been embraced in going out into the fresh air and exercising. Were you not? Was that beginning to change?
I started to struggle on hikes and that, I find I was starting to be the backmarker a lot of the time. Everybody else be going way ahead of me. Since starting down losing the weight, it was about halfway through. We went away for a weekend and we did what's called Eagles Crag up on the Capure. And I was able to get up that without even thinking about it. I was kind of got up to the top and kind of went, what? How am I up here? without feeling any strain or stress. Like, I was just up there.
And of course, you've got 3 sons, a wife and 3 sons. So were you conscious of being a role model for them and being healthy for them and being around long term for them?
In a way, actually, they could be a role model for me because they would be even bigger into their sports, football and all the rest. So they would take their health and fitness very seriously. So they would be a role model for me than actually me for them.
OK, right. Person gets to the point where they're not happy with their physical condition and their weight, decides to do something about it. The vast majority of us either, get fit or go on diets or whatever. You chose hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Why?
I know a few friends in work who use hypnotherapy to stop smoking. And as I said, I'd seen the thing on Facebook. And I looked into it, gave Jason a call. And just straight from the start, he put me at ease about the whole process and what was involved and how easy it could be as long as you followed the plan and followed what party.
Well, clearly it works. Now, Jason, good morning. Nice to see you. Long time since we've seen you.
Thank you very much for having me.
It clearly works. How does it work?
Well, the funny thing about it is we all know what we should do. And, the first thing people would say to me is, I know what I should do. We should all exercise and eat less. This isn't rocket science at the end of the day. And I was watching yesterday when you had Joe Wicks on, and he said the same thing. And you can go to the obesity clinic, they'll say the same thing. No matter where you go, we're all saying the same thing.
Move more, eat less.
That's all there is. There is no magic wand, there is no magic pill. So the only decision you need to make is what goes from here to here. That's really it.
And that's controlled by what's up here.
Exactly, because if you look at the mind, if you look at anything, go back to Freud, the mind is split in 2. There's a conscious mind and an unconscious. The conscious is you saying, don't eat the cream pies, but sure, it's Friday, I deserve a treat, or it's Wednesday, or it's raining. But the unconscious, that's where the important part is. Now, when you look at the science of hypnotherapy, it's a science. Now we're using it in all the hospitals for hypnobirthing. We're using it for operations because it changes the brain wave. And the brain wave controls pain, it controls behaviour. So if you can imagine when you're wide awake, your brain is like this.
They're using it in cancer wards.
Yeah, they're using it for pain management. I worked with ARC during my training to do stuff. So if you can imagine, your brain is up here when you're wide awake. When you're under hypnosis, your brain is at a theta level. It's just a relaxed level, like mindfulness, like meditation, yoga, and it allows to access the unconscious. Now, if you go a level below that, that's when you have dreams, when you're asleep. So we know it's there. But all we're doing is we're reinforcing that part of the brain with these positive thoughts, eating healthier, not eating because you're bored or stressed, depressed, upset or hungry. We put things into people's heads like every step is a calorie. But there's no point in being hypnotized. People come to me all the time, I want you to hypnotize me to eat less. Great, but you have any food in the house? Well, no, I don't know how to cook. Well, that's kind of pointless then. You want to eat healthy, but you've got nothing but chocolate biscuits. So we would recommend, actually, we mentioned it there, Joe Wicks's book, we mentioned Jamie Oliver's superfood books. What we would say to people, look, there's a structure here. You need to do a bit of walking to get rid of the weight you're already carrying. You need to learn to cook. That's why Joe Wicks's book is very good, because it's 15 minutes for everything. We give people the small blue plate to reduce their portions. We show them to eat in front of the table rather than the television. Because if you look at the psychology, and I studied this for years in college, of the psychological tricks that people will do. If you eat at a buffet, for example, you would eat 50 to 60% more food. We've all done that on holidays. If you eat in front of the television, you will eat 50% more food. There's a lot of little tricks. And if you reverse them, what happens is you eat less food.
So this is the little blue plate that we're talking about. Yeah. So is this what you now use for breakfast, lunch and dinner? And I understand the philosophy behind it. I understand how it would work. What I don't understand is how you stop yourself from going back up and getting seconds on the wee blue plate. Because that's what I'd be doing.
That's what Ciara asked us earlier on. First off, it's obviously a smaller portion. That's common sense. What's interesting about the blue, and people don't know, and this is science, you can look this up, I say to people on Google, people eat less food off blue plates. The reason is, prehistorically, as for millions of years, we were hunter-gatherers, and there's no such thing as blue food. So it's a natural appetite suppressant, bar blueberries, and they're practically black. So what's interesting is, and people say to me, and they look at me like Mark's looking at me now and go, what are you talking about? Well, I say, okay, well, think about all the major fast food chains. Is there blue in any of them?
Primary colours. Yeah, no.
They use certain colours, and we know that certain colours make you think certain things. Blue is an appetite suppressant. So, and we actually in the clinic give people, we go out and buy these in bulk and give them to people, because we've said for years, buy a small blue plate. They don't. They come back, I haven't got around to it. So we'll buy that for people. And
did you actually use this? Did you take this with you sort of back home? Did you take it into work?
I wouldn't have taken it into work because chances are I would have got smashed away.
Yes.
I'd be moving around during the day. But it just worked out lucky. When I started the programme with Jason, I was on a shift where I could have most of my meals based around the house. So it was grand. I got into the habit of using it, got into the habit of the idea of the portions. And then when I go into the canteen now, I can actually tell them just to put a certain amount on the plate, and that does me. I'd be happy with that.
And Pat, a question for you. Look, you've done it and you've achieved it, and it's brilliant and all the rest of it. Is there any part of you that kind of says, yeah, but it's Jason's kind of subliminal stuff in my head that's making me do this, and if that wears off, I'll relapse?
No, well, when you do a session with Jason, he records on my phone, and I listen to that session once a day then. I just plug the headphones in, sit back.
So it's constantly being reinforced?
Yeah, so it's constantly being reinforced. So I actually, with other diets, when I've come out of them, as I said, I kind of just went back to normal for it.
But you have him like your conscience on your shoulder?
It's there, but it's even like I'm going to the press now and biscuits are there. I'm just saying, no, just don't want
them because you've got... How long is this recording?
The last one, I think it was about 10, 15 minutes.
OK, so when you're walking to work in the morning or...
Well, no, I'd normally lie down the bed and just put the headphones in.
You do take time out to listen to this. So this for you then is really... It's not a diet, it's not a healthy eating plan. It is a bit of a lifestyle change, isn't it? You want to try to keep this permanent.
Yeah.
I call it the gym mentality. There's no point in coming in, join the gym, and then never going, and going back a month later saying it doesn't work. You have to use the plate. You have to do the hypnosis every day. It's a whole process. Once you're losing, most of our clients will lose sort of 5 pounds every 3 to 6 weeks, and we'll say, just come back in and we'll move on to... And you come back in 3 weeks and sort of say, look, I'm doing great with the food, but I'm not exercising. We do a session of hypnosis and exercise. It's all included in the price, and there's no extra charge. Once you're losing sort of 5 pounds every month, every 6 weeks.
As long as you're keeping your end of the bargain.
And you can come for as long as you like. There's no extra charge.
Congratulations, Pat. You look superb.
Thank you.
Absolutely superb. I'm going to go and buy a blue plate.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you.